Welcome to the Year of Yes podcast. I'm your host, Sam, and I'm here with my special co host this week, Karla.
Hello.
Hi, Karla.
Hello.
And where are you coming from, Karla?
I'm coming from the Austin, Texas area. I'm just northwest of Austin, Texas, in Liberty Hill.
And how do I know you?
You know me through my lovely wife, Cheryl. We met, I guess, a little over 2 years ago, just before our wedding.
Yep.
And yeah, so we met through a mutual love.
Yes. I was very honored to be in their wedding. It was quite the celebration.
Oh gosh, it was so much fun.
That's a yes that you said yes to.
That's a big yes.
Is that on your list?
Um, well, not tonight. It's not on my list, but influential yeses. I think they all point in one direction, right?
And that direction is?
Where I sit today, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So, what do you think about this year of yes?
This year of yes, I'm pretty optimistic. I have set some goals for myself, and they're crucial goals because time's running out. I'm reaching retirement age, and I feel like it's like, okay, I really have to tighten this up. So this year I made some commitments to some yeses that are going to point me in the direction of retirement, and that I think that place is going to dictate, is retirement going to be, is it going to be adventurous and fun, or is it going to be a struggle?
What kind of yeses have you made for yourself this year? What kind of
So
goals?
yeah, so I and we have similar careers, and I've been in graphic design and digital media marketing for over 35 years, and been on the computer a long time, but my heart is really tied to the fine arts. And the fine arts is what, pointed me to graphic design, because it is certainly an extension of that creativity. But my yes for this year is to slowly start weaning myself from the computer and
Mm.
putting my hands back into my fine art. So that involves having a space to create that art. And I have a 500 square foot slab in my backyard that I poured when I built my house, that for the intention of an art studio. So my yes is to get that thing built.
Yes, good. I was hoping that was going to be one of your yeses.
Yeah,
I
it's
was
it's
talking
definitely, it's a big yes.
I was talking to my mom about that slab that you have and the
Mhm.
the dream building that's supposed to go on it.
Right. It's just a slab. Every day I look out my window and it's like, build me, build me.
We used that slab for part of your wedding reception.
Sure. I mean, it comes in handy for all kinds of all kinds of things. But the original tent was an art studio.
Yeah. Yeah, she's a really good artist for all the listeners out there. All right, so tell me more about your yeses for the year.
So 12 years ago, I I said yes to something that has come to fruition this year. So you have this 12-year span of,
I'm intrigued.
yeah, you said yes, and then it's like, okay, you said yes 12 years ago, and my yes 12 years ago was to an elderly neighbor of mine in Dallas, Texas. She had lost her husband. She had lost her dog. She was alone, and this kitten showed up on her doorstep. And she called me up and she said, "Karla, there's a kitten down here." And I said, "There is." And she said, "I don't know what to do with it." So I went down and promptly helped her with this kitten, and it was flea infested, and we bathed it, and we got it comfortable. And she said, "I can't keep it." I said, "Well, we'll try to find a home for it." Well, we couldn't find a home for it, but she was reluctant to take the kitten in because she knew the kitten would outlive her, and she didn't want that to happen. And at that time, I knew that this kitten would be a really fantastic companion to her. And I encouraged her to take the kitten in and promised her, which was a promise is a yes, right?
Totally.
Yeah, and I promised her that if the kitten outlived her, that it would be taken care of. I didn't illustrate what that picture would look like, but I made that promise. Well, she passed away on January 13th, and I have the kitten. Well, it's not a kitten anymore. It's a 12-year-old cat, but I have the cat, and that's a pretty big yes,
Yeah.
because we have a cat, and we're comfortable, and this cat is, it misses her mama. It's been shuffled around. It's in a new environment, and she is not happy. Which, I don't know if you can see that or
Oh
not.
no, did she attack you?
Well, she didn't attack me, but she let me know she didn't want me in her space.
In my non-cat world, I call that attacking.
Yes. That was, I guess, I didn't feel like I was being attacked, but I certainly felt like I was being told to back off.
Mm-hmm.
And I was thinking about connections to yes, and really what it boils down to is yes boils down to, I think, doing the right thing a lot of the time.
Yeah, that's certainly an aspect of yes, for sure. Yes means something different to everybody, I think. The friend that I was with last night, we went to a basketball game together, a women's basketball game, and she is saying yes to everything that gets her out of her comfort zone. So that's what yes means to her this year.
Yeah,
And
that's
yeah,
valid.
yes to you means doing the right thing.
Right, doing the right thing.
Yeah.
And we're all in different spaces in life and on different plane levels. And I think, I mean, I'm 61 years old, and I've had some life, and I probably have more life behind me than ahead of me. And I think my life has taught me a lot about um, the value of yes.
One of the things that I respect and admire about you, and the reason why I wanted to have you on the podcast, is because you you have been doing like a similar thing to me. You are a business owner and you've had your own business for years and you are successful at it. You have built your own house. You have all your bike toys and you don't seem to be wanting for anything materially. Um, and
Other than an art studio.
right, yeah, but that's whose fault is that? So as a fellow business owner, what yeses took you into being your own boss?
So when I started working for myself, it was really on a freelance basis. And what I learned was at a pretty young age in Dallas, Texas, is that I had several jobs at advertising agencies and design firms. And what I learned pretty quickly is when those firms lost an account, and if you were on that account, you lost your job. And that was pretty intimidating for me. So I didn't like how vulnerable I felt, knowing that could happen at any moment. And I knew that I could control um, my workflow better than that. So the yes was kind of driven from a vulnerability to someone else, being vulnerable to someone else,
Mm,
handing me a paycheck. And I felt more confident that I could do it on my own. I could depend on myself, basically.
yeah.
So that yes was like, yes, I want, I want to be comfortable, and I want to be in control, basically.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, a vulnerability at like other people's hands, but a strength and a belief in yourself and
Right.
what you
Right.
had to offer and what you could put together for yourself, which is amazing. I love it. I love seeing other successful female business owners who have gotten to where they want to be in their lives. Yeah, somebody the other night was asking me about how I got into freelancing, if I had planned it, and I laughed because no, I had never planned to have my own business or run my own business.
So how did that happen for you?
So I uh, had always worked for other people and had freelanced, quote unquote, freelanced in between like corporate jobs. And the freelancing was what I called my fun employment. Like, yeah, I would do a website and just to feel better about my lack of employment, but it wasn't anything that I ever saw as a viable business option for me until I got um, laid off from my second job in Austin. And I was tired of working for these men who are younger than me, who didn't understand the job that I was doing. And they were trying to sell what I was offering. Like they were trying to sell the websites, but they didn't understand how to sell the websites because they didn't do the websites. And so I was always having to explain how to sell something and explain everything that went into it and how they should price it and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, well, I'm basically doing the job anyway. So why not just do it? Maybe I could do it on my own.
There you
And
go.
then at the same time, this woman who had been freelancing for many years of her life, an older woman, she decided to put on the freelancing 101 course out of a co-working space in Austin. And it was like a free 4-week course, if I remember correctly. And it went through marketing your business, it went through bookkeeping, it went through business, finances, it went through um, setting aside taxes and making sure you paid like everything that the basics of everything you needed to know in order to run a business. And that's when something, that's when a switch flipped in my head. And I was like, oh, this could be an actual, like, legitimate career path for me.
Mm-hmm. Awesome.
That's when I said yes and was
Mm-hmm.
in. But it wasn't
Nice.
anything I ever planned. It was just something I kind of fell into because the right people said yes to things at the right times. Like Emily Leach said yes to putting on this freelancing 101 course at the
Mm-hmm.
same time that I needed it. And Shelley Delane of Orange Co-working said yes to hosting the freelancing 101 course at the exact time that I was a member there. So,
Nice.
yeah, that's the interesting thing about saying yes, because
Mm-hmm.
you don't know where it's going to take you when you say yes to it.
Sure.
And I guess that's the
It's
scary thing and the
interesting.
exciting thing.
Yeah, it's exactly. Yep.
Are you more afraid of yeses or more excited by yeses?
I'm definitely more excited about yeses.
Yeah, same.
I don't typically let fear stop me. I keep putting one foot in front of the other. And what changes is that it's almost like a threshold. You walk through a threshold, and you're on the other side, and you go, "Oh wow, this is not as bad as I thought it was going to be. This is okay."
Yeah, do you think that saying yes is like a muscle and every time you flex it, it makes fear a little less potent?
Sure, sure. That's a great way of describing it.
Something to practice. Yes,
Hmm.
might be something to practice.
Right. I think sticking to the plan is another form of yes.
Totally. Yeah, it's like a yes to yourself.
Right. And you're talking about how yes is like a muscle that yeah, and the more you do that, the more you say, no, I'm going to stick to the plan. You you build that muscle, and
Mm-hmm.
then that becomes your norm. It's
Yep.
like that just becomes what you automatically do. So no, we're going to stick to the plan. I lost a few really close friends this past summer, um, and there's one thing that just keeps standing out is like you never know how profound a moment is until it becomes a memory. And I guess where I'm going with this is that the older I get and you have your losses and you have all that history behind you, you can you can be more present to your yeses. I mean, I think when I was younger, when I was in my 20s, I mean, I was just floating. I wasn't aware. I wasn't like um emotionally conscious of my actions. And I think age teaches you that. So, as you move through um, your exploration of yeses, I think age plays a role in that. I think
Mm-hmm.
it plays a big role in that. I think the older we get, we're a lot more careful.
Yeah. I've always been careful.
See,
That has
I
always been
can't
a
say that I have.
trait of mine.
Yeah, I can't say that I have. I think especially in my 20s, I think that I had to feel some real pain before I understood um, the value of compassion.
So, what is it you think everyone should say yes to at least once in their life?
Um, I think saying yes to an adventure, just saying yes to an adventure um, that is outside of their comfort zone.
Yeah, I love that. What's your adventure been?
My adventure,
Yeah.
I think one of my biggest adventures. I've had a lot of adventures in my life. I mean, I'm not shy to saying yes to adventures, but I think the biggest adventure in my life was saying yes to um, selling my house in Dallas, putting everything I owned, selling half of everything I owned, and putting the rest of my possessions in storage, um and just heading out in a pickup truck and an Airstream with my dog,
Mm-hmm.
not having a clue where I was going or where I was going to land. That was the I just knew it was time. It was time to go. I went and I lived in on the road. I lived in my trailer with my dog, and it was scary. It was probably one of the scariest things I've ever done. It was probably one of the loneliest things I've ever done. Yet it was also probably one of the most profound and prolific things that I've ever done that shaped where I'm at today.
And you just went around the US?
Yeah, mostly in the West and Northwest.
And how long were you gone?
I was on the road for a little over a year.
Oh, so cool.
Yeah, and just living. I have photographs of my my Airstream like surrounded by mountains with nothing else around me, and just trusting that I could continue to work and pay my bills and save money and explore. And it was, how the monks would go off into the mountains
Mm.
and meditate.
Mm-hmm.
It was like a pilgrimage for me that allowed me time by myself, even though it was brutally lonely. It just gave me the space and time I needed to really find myself.
Yeah, so say yes to adventure
Yes,
at least once in your life.
at least once, a big adventure, not just
Yeah.
a little adventure, but something that really sets you out of your comfort zone.
Yeah. Yeah, for me that was packing up, well, selling half of my stuff in
Mhm.
Austin and then putting the rest in storage and then
Right,
giving the other third away.
and moving
And
to Germany. Yeah.
starting, well, no, it started as a trip around the world.
Oh,
So
okay.
first I went to Buenos Aires for 2 months, and then I went to Lima for 2 months, and
Mm-hmm.
then I went to Edinburgh, Scotland for 5 months, and fell
Wow.
in love with Edinburgh. Oh my gosh. If I could live anywhere without having to worry about visas, it would be Edinburgh, Scotland. Um, and then is it because they don't have like a freelance visa or like an artist visa in the
Right.
UK, I got kicked out. I mean, I didn't get kicked out, but I had to leave the country before 6 months. And then Berlin was next on my list. So I went to Berlin, and then I found out that Berlin, Germany, has a freelance visa, an artist visa, and I applied for that. And then I got it, and then I was there for 4 years, but like also did not start out as a plan.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I just happened upon it. What is something that you think I should say yes to this year?
I think what you should say yes to this year is riding that mountain bike more and more.
It's so scary.
I know, but you love it. You're drawn to it, and
I am drawn
I
to it.
yeah, I think the more you do it, the more you'll feel it when you like actually drop off a rock and go,
Mm,
"Oh, I did it." And you when you feel that, when you feel that motion and you feel what you had to do to successfully navigate something that scares the shit out of you, then the more you do that, then you go, I got this. That's nothing. It's like, but you have to ride the mountain bike so you can feel it,
hmm.
and ride with people that can show you what it looks like.
Yeah. I think that the people in my life right now don't realize how afraid I am of mountain biking. The conversation that I had last week with my friend Liz, the last week's podcast, she was like, most of the things on your like parameters list for the year, or I think there were things you would already say yes to. She's like, I want you to say yes to things you wouldn't normally say yes to. And I hadn't processed it enough at the time to respond, but I'm going to respond now.
Yeah.
Number one, things on that list that I might say yes to still scare me,
Mm-hmm.
like mountain biking, like
Right.
skiing, like going to networking events. Like many things on my parameters list still scare me.
Mm-hmm.
And my natural inclination would be to say no if I weren't such like an adventurous, yes, I don't want anything to hold me back person.
Right.
So that's the first thing. The second thing is that the other part of why I'm doing this year of yes is to become better at discipline and to become better at the everyday choices that I need to make in order to be the person that I want to be and live the life that I want to live. So, if that has to do with health, like what daily choices do I
Right.
need to make in order to be a healthy person and achieve my activity goals? And then with regards to work, what kind of discipline do I need to have in order to um, get the clients that I want to have, keep the clients that I want to have, and make the kind of money that I want to have so that I can retire one day.
Mhm.
And so even though some of the things on my parameters list might seem ordinary and might seem like things I would say yes to anyway, I don't think those that should be discounted as like less than yeses.
I agree with that. You can say yes to something and do it half-ass. I think that I think discipline takes you a long way. And if you can see the bigger picture of where you want to be, which I think is smart, I think it's super smart. And um, then that discipline, you can say yes and then add discipline to it, and you'll get there.
Yeah, it's sort of like you were talking about sticking to the plan. So, and my version of sticking to the plan is getting better at discipline.
Yeah, good job. I like it. I like it. Discipline's hard. I mean, if discipline was easy, then you would have all of these overachievers surrounding you everywhere. And discipline is hard. And when you break it down to your discipline to good health, and you kind of pick that apart, and that involves your diet, and it involves exercise, it involves the proper amount of sleep every night. You break it all down, it's work.
Yep.
It's a it's it's presence. So you bring presence to your life. So
Mm-hmm.
you become aware of the gaps and where you can fill in those gaps to do a better job.
Yeah. And that's what my mom was saying in the second or third episode, whatever episode my mom came in on. She was like, most of this year is just about becoming aware of your reactions to things and what your response might be naturally, and then thinking about it, being aware of it, thinking about it, and then making a different choice if
Right.
you conclude that that's the choice you should make. But yeah, I think awareness is a big part of this year and a big
Right.
part of saying yes. Well, do you have any other final questions or thoughts before we wrap up?
I just think it's great what you're doing, and I'm honored that you asked me to be a guest on your podcast. I think that's cool. I love that. I've enjoyed it. It's been fun.
Yeah, I'm so excited that you're
I
doing
said yes.
the
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah,
Well,
no, I think it's cool. I think what you're doing is it has a lot of value in it, and I think it absolutely helps people. They give some thought into their actions, and why they're doing what they're doing, and I think it has a lot of value.
yeah. Well, I can't wait to see your art studio when it's finished this year.
Well, I will. I'll keep you posted on the progress. It's like
Good.
it's I'm not even gonna try to. I'm not even gonna try to guess what it looks like. It's just, again, one step at a time.
Yeah.
But it's gonna happen.
You should add some pictures to, like, if you do a monthly update on yourvspodcast.com,
Okay,
you should add some pictures of the progress if you want.
I will. I will.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, I'll do that. I'll document it.
Well, thank you to all of the listeners for listening this week. Hopefully, you have enjoyed this time with me and Karla. I certainly have. I think it's been wonderful. If you want to join the Year of Yes community along with us, you can pledge your yes at yearofyespodcast.com. And a link will be in the show notes so that it's easily accessible for you. We are also on all of the normal places: Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Spotify, all the normal places. So until next week, keep saying your yeses, and we'll see you then.
All right.
Bye. Say bye.
Bye.
And cut.